Hey folks, look at me. I look like shit. Yeah, I'm getting ready to vote. I'm getting to go out the door and I'm gonna be sitting in traffic and I'm gonna go to the polls and I'm gonna put my check on a piece of paper or however the fucking voting system is, and I'm not gonna be able to take the camera inside because apparently it's illegal. But I figured I'd take you along with me on the ride. As you can see, I look like shit. Like I said, I've been off work for about 2 hours now, waiting for the right time to get in my car. Fuck, it's bright out. Hold on. So you're coming with me on the 2nd of November here. We're going to go and try and change the world in the only way that we know how. By trying to make a change at home. I should be sleeping, but you know what? This vote is too fucking important for me to hold on. For me to be able to sleep. So I'm taking you with me.
Atherton partially.
Hold on one sec.
Backed up to Portland.
I have to drive 20 minutes out of my way to vote. Yes, look at my hair. Does that tell you? What does that tell you? God. I gotta go to my old neighborhood because I'm not registered in the one that I live in now. Shit, hold on. Had to put my foot in the wrong place. Anyway. So, I'm backing up here. This is gonna be a edited fucking video, hopefully. But you're coming with me. I'm gonna spend the morning with you and me going to vote. So here I am pulling out on the street here. Some asshole with a fucking, I don't know what the hell those things are called. Trailer thing on his truck in front of me, taking up the street. Going to Belmont. Belmont is where I used to live before I moved. Belmont's a little shithole. It is now, I think almost 9. Hold on. I don't know if the clock on my digital camera changes. Nope, apparently not. And that's okay. It's green. What are you? Go on, stupid. Come on. You guys want to go this way. I want to go that way. Here we go. Whee! Yeah, okay. So, what do I got to say? Well, I'm going to the polls. I'm going to vote. I had the opportunity in the last couple days, and I didn't take it, to make a statement about how important voting today is. This election is ultimately the greatest political thing of my generation. You know, this isn't a Vietnam. This isn't this isn't the 60s and the revolution age. This is the 2000s? Now the question is, why is it so fucking important? I could give you my opinion, which is usually what I do, but the problem with politics, at least as far as I'm concerned, and there are people that will that are educated and don't follow this philosophies, I feel that in order for you to actually voice your opinion about political issues, you gotta be educated on those issues. Yeah, okay, great, you feel strongly about something, but this isn't a matter of opinion, this is a matter of fact. You know, you can't stand up and go, I hate abortion because abortion sucks. You know, you gotta say why. You gotta understand. I don't like, affirmative action because it's not fair. Okay, well, why isn't it fair? Why does abortion suck? What are the things that support this particular opinion? You cannot make decisions. I mean, people do every day, and you know what? If I was an average idiot, I would do that too. I'd just make my decisions based on a gut reaction. And even though I'm a huge proponent of the idea of instinct, you can't go on instinct with these things. There are issues that you have to think about both sides of the thing and make an educated guess. Because these events and these decisions affect more than just yourself. You know, with instinct, you're going on yourself. If all I was doing was going to the polls and voting on issues that affect me, then I could go, okay, this is how I feel about the president. This is how I feel about so-and-so. I have limited knowledge about the people in office right now. I have certain facts or certain points that have been brought to my attention via me searching them or people bringing them to my attention about the Bush administration or Bush himself that gives me reason to not want him in office. Okay, the simple fact of the matter is I've never wanted Bush in office. The fact that Bush did not win the election last time is more than enough reason for me not to want him in there. Okay, I'm not even going to, I could go on and on about how much I hate Bush and why I hate Bush, but those are personal issues, my personal take on it. They aren't like, okay, well, in this particular legal debate, he made this decision, and this is why it affects the United States in a negative fashion. I can't do that because there are so many different things. I do not know everything. I do not know both sides of the fucking argument. I do not know all the facts of what occurred, but I do know my personal take on it. Like, for example, the war in Iraq. I made it very clear before why, because I posted something a long time ago about why I thought the war in Iraq was stupid. And now, more than ever, the simple fact of the matter is that we went to Iraq because the president said there were weapons of mass destruction. Iraq and bin Laden were directly tied to 9/11. God, I hate the fact that I can't fucking see myself. There you go. I'll just have to drive like this. Since those statements have been made, it has been proven, factually proven, there are no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Bin Laden and his regime was not tied to 9/11. So, the reasons that we were given, that we went into, and then after that, when those reasons were proven as to be false, more reasons were pulled out. Oh, well, Bin Laden is a terrorist, and he's a dictator, and he abuses his people, so, the ends justifies the means. Okay, look, if you had gone in there specifically saying, Bin Laden is a danger to his people, and we need to bring them freedom, good, but you didn't. All the reasons that you gave were false. All the reasons that Bush gave were false. You want to argue about, the CIA said, and he believed what the CIA said, and there's facts that say that the CIA were coerced into saying that so they could support the president's stance. And then, see, this is where you start getting into things, because then people will pull out facts on one end and people will pull out facts on the other end. It's really, really dumb. Really dumb. So, that's a problem, and that's the problem that I have. That's the reason why I don't stand up more and make more of a political noise, because I do not know all the facts. I could stand up and I could say all this shit to you, and this is my opinion, and this is why I think this, and this is why I think that, and an educated person on a different side of the fucking coin will go, okay, well, here's your opinion, but here are the facts that prove that what you know is wrong. Here are the facts that prove that what you know is wrong. And to me, when it comes to an argument, if you have facts that prove your point, how are you going to continue to argue? If you go, the sky is purple, and I go, well, no, the sky is blue, and here's a color chart with the word blue that looks exactly like the color in the sky. You were wrong. How the fuck do you continue to argue that point? You can't. And I am not going to make these kind of statements, because I'm the kind of person that when you say something, and when you make a statement like that, it's got to be true. You got to believe it. Why would I want to believe a false thing? It makes me an ignorant prick if I go around and go, oh, Bush sucks because of this, 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 and this, and none of it's true. Alright? So I have personal reasons for wanting George Bush out of the White House. I don't like Kerry. I'm not a supporter of Kerry. And for those of you out there that go, oh, well, anything's better than Bush, it's a stupid reason for wanting Bush out. I want Bush out of office. I want Bush out of office. The only choice I have to actually make a decision that will get Bush out of office is Kerry. I don't like Kerry that much, but you know what? It's not Bush. I want Bush out of office. I will take the tool that I have been given to get Bush out of office. So if you're going to sit here and go, oh, well, you know, that's a really stupid question, anything but Bush. Yeah, well, give me other options, okay? Because I don't have good options does not mean that I should not want Bush out of the office anymore. It's just that simple. So, that's something for you to fucking chew on, okay? You know what? My personal fear when it comes to this fucking political decision is that there are people out there. I mean, I'm not afraid of the fact that people want Bush in office. I'm afraid of the fact that there are people out there that want Bush in office that are basing that thing on complete fallacies. Well, Bush said that Al-Qaeda and Saddam Hussein were connected, and Bush said that there's weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And even though there are facts that prove this as being incorrect, there are people still out there who believe it. It's not a matter of being misinformed. It is a matter of being completely fucking ignorant of the facts. These are not things that are like hidden. Like if you were to ask me what the Patriot Act means, I could not tell you. I can tell you what I've been told. I couldn't give you specific details unless I went and I looked up the exact, the Patriot Act and read word for word what it says. However, you don't have to look farther than a fucking newspaper or turn on the news or anything to have someone say to you, there are no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Saddam Hussein was not connected with Al-Qaeda and 9/11 events. You don't got to go any farther than that. And yet, and this is a figure that was quoted on one radio program or from several sources. I can't remember what, so I can't quote to you what. 70% of Bush supporters still believe, regardless of substantial standing facts, that there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and that Al-Qaeda or 9/11 and Saddam Hussein were connected. And that scares me because that means that 70% of the people that are going to vote for Bush are making a decision for the rest of the country on lazy ignorance. I don't know enough about the issues that are going on. I only know the parts that I have a personal direct involvement with or affect me or people that I care about in some fashion or have been brought to my attention. And those facts are brought to me by people that are pundits of one side or the other. And that's dangerous because anybody with enough zeal and belief in something will produce facts. They will take the evidence or the information and show you the parts of it that support their arguments. And that's a real dangerous thing. Because you look, oh, well, there's some documented proof, and here's what he's saying, and here's the words on that document that say it, so it must be true. That's a dangerous fucking thing. And that's the problem that I have. This election is so important because I honestly believe, and here's the thing, okay, Bush and Kerry are the same person. They both stand on different sides of the fucking fence, of the political fence, but they're the same person. They're a fucking figurehead for the people that are actually in power to make decisions and have it filtered through this face that everybody likes. You either like George Bush's face, so when these people hand down the decision, when these people hand down the decision, you look at it and you go, oh, well, it came from Bush, and I like Bush, or I trust Bush, so therefore the decision is good. Or it came from Kerry, and I like Kerry, so the decision is good. There is a person in office who the United States citizens look at and say, I have faith, I have respect, I have trust, I have whatever for this person, and the decision came from them, therefore it must be right. That's all the presidency is nowadays. There is no such thing as, the leader, the leader in chief of the United States. There is some dude who everybody knows that says, oh, that's the president, and then the people who make the decisions that filter it through the megaphone that's attached to the back of their fucking head and out their mouth. I saw plenty of Democratic propaganda about Bush and the decisions that he's made and the things that he's done. And because I don't like Bush, I am naturally inclined to listen to that stuff and go, oh, I see, and that's good, more stuff for me to hate Bush about, okay? But then I saw a Republican propaganda film about Kerry, and they were talking about Vietnam. It was specifically related to Vietnam and the statements that Kerry made during the Vietnam War, towards the end of the Vietnam War, when he came forward and he said, you know, American soldiers are slaughtering the northern Vietnamese, and they're doing all these horrendous things, and they're rapists and they're murderers and they're pillaging, and they had all these different POWs from the Vietnam camps, specifically hotel. What is it? The Hanoi Hotel, I think, is what they called that prison camp. And they had a bunch of different military people that had been in there. And they were all talking about their experiences in the concentration camp and the shit that they had to go through and the punishment that they received dealing with that incarceration and the torture, and how they felt about the statements that Kerry made back then, and how they were lies. They were saying these are lies. This did not happen. I was there. I was being tortured and being forced to say the things that Kerry said of his own free will. Kerry came forward and he said things that gave strength to our oppressors, to our captors, and they said, I honestly feel that because of what Kerry said, I was kept in captivity for another 6 months, 8 months, 2 years, however long. They all said different time frames. But the point of this is not to give strength to the thing. But the point of it is that this propaganda machine is trying to make you believe that that entire debacle, that entire fucked up situation that happened with, you know, the end of the war and people and the soldiers coming home and being spit on by the United States citizens and called a baby killer and not being able to wear their uniforms proudly and be accepted home as, you know, heroes. It's all because of Kerry. Because of what Kerry said, all that happened. That's basically how they led you to believe that the truth is that this never would have occurred if Kerry never came forward and said these things. And you know what? That's a load of shit. Okay? I am not saying that what Kerry said was a lie or wasn't a lie, even though what they showed Kerry said, I've got a different take on what he said. But I'm not going to dispute. These guys were there. You know, they've been in the concentration camps. They suffered. They had bones broken and tortured and all that shit. I'm not going to dispute what they say. They say that this is what they took from what Kerry said. That's what they took. I'm not going to argue that. But the simple fact of the matter is that, you know, to sit here and tell me that all of that shit happened because of Kerry is bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. Okay? There were more people then that were saying shit like that caused it to occur. There were dissidents against the war before Kerry came out. This was towards the end of the war. There were people constantly against the war. And you're going to sit here and try and tell me that it was Kerry's fault? Please, give me a fucking break. Okay? It's just that's the kind of bullshit that bothers me. Okay, you can't pin an entire movement or an entire, you know, set of statements. I mean, well, you can't pin an entire string of events like that on one man's statement. Like, there were a lot of people that came out and said shit like that. And you're going to sit here and tell me that all of them, throughout the entire length of the war, were all inspired by Kerry. Is that right? The people that came before Kerry were also inspired by what Kerry said, right? Yeah, whatever. I don't know. You know, there's more that I can say, but I mean, really, that isn't already me repeating myself. But, I don't like propaganda. I don't like the state of fear that the United States has become. Media, the media, the liberal media, or the conservative media, whatever the fuck you want to call it, sells their shit on the fear of the American populace. And the American populace is so fucking stupid. You and they're stupid, and it doesn't necessarily mean they're stupid completely by their own fault. The places they are supposed to trust to be able to go to find answers to very, very important questions, are the places that are feeding the fear to them. You're supposed to be able to go and watch the news or be able to pick up a newspaper and read what is going on in the world. And be able to say, okay, well, there's some horrible things going on, and I can see that, but there's this stuff going on too. But that's not what's going on. We're constantly being told that we're under attack. We're constantly being told that we're all going to die. We're constantly being told that at any moment, at any place, at any time, something may happen that may cause something that may look like a terrorist attack. We have become so jaded and inundated and deadened to these kind of shit that it gets more and more and more and more, and gets more and more and more and more extreme. The fear, in order to stimulate the fear reaction, you got to make it worse. You got to make it worse. And though I believe the world is a fucked up place, I believe that there are horrible things out there waiting to fuck us in the ass. I believe that 100%. You want to know why? Because we live in a world of human beings, and human beings are greedy, violent, disgusting, self-centered, egotistical bastards. They only want what they can get for themselves, have no care for the fucking fellow man, and they just are doing everything in their power to make life as easy for them as possible. And if that means fucking over their fellow man, then so be it. And that's the world we live in today. Altruism is dead. There are some people out there that are trying to be altruistic, and it's too far gone and too late. The only way to make that shit work is to get a bunch of people to be altruistic at the same fucking time. But people are not willing to give. Because there are so many people out there willing to take, and that's why. It's not a matter of people not willing to give freely. It is people are scared. People are scared. People are in fear of that being taken. Why would you want to give your last loaf of bread to somebody who's hungry? Because they're gonna take it from you. You're not gonna get anything from that. It has gotten to the point where now giving has to have a payoff. Being kind has to have a payoff, because people have been burnt enough and people have taken advantage enough that there's no positive outcome anymore. There's no positive outcome to be able to give freely without hope of receiving something in return. The good feeling that comes from that. Because people don't appreciate. People take for granted. People are fucking self-entitled assholes. Well, I'm an American, so I deserve this. Well, who fucking says you deserve it, you piece of shit? None of us, not me, you, none of us are above this statement. None of us. We are all so concerned with our own survival. Some of us more focused on survival than others. And what I mean by that is, people who have lots of money and are living in very stable environments aren't so focused on survival as maintaining where they are. And that's not survival. You want to maintain the lifestyle that you've become accustomed to. That's not fucking survival, okay? That's living in comfort. That's living to the means that you have become accustomed to. That is not survival. Survival is doing what's needed to be done to continue to live. Having that fourth car, having that extra $100,000 in the bank is not survival. What that is that's fucking greed. You can call it whatever you want. You can label it whatever the fuck you want. It's greed. You do not need it. You want it. You don't need it. You don't need another $100,000 in the bank. You don't need the interest on that other $6 million you got over in Sweden. You don't need it. You've got enough money to live comfortably for the rest of your life. And comfortably does not mean the level at which you're living right now. It does not mean 14 cars and a house in the Bahamas. That is not living comfortably. That's living exorbitantly. Living comfortably is having all of your bills paid, having food in the fucking fridge, having a roof over your head, having the comforts of a house, having fucking clothing that you can put on your back, and not having to worry about where it's going to go next. That is comfort. The basic necessities met to an extent that there is no concern or stress. That is comfort. Ask anybody who's in a situation that's uncomfortable. Somebody who that's starving every day. Somebody who has no place to live. What are the comfort things in life? A roof, food, warmth. Those are the three and companionship. But companionship you can get with money or without it. You know, you don't need money. But those three things: warmth, food, warmth, food, and shelter. The three necessities in life. If you have those three necessities in abundance, you are beyond comfort. If you have them to the extent that you can live without fear of any of them being taken away from you, that's comfort. And that's the shit you should be paying attention to. Alright, I finally got here. I'm in Belmont. Walking towards the polls as we speak. I don't know how long the wait's going to be, and I know I'm not going to be able to turn this on when I'm in there. So, hopefully this will pay off, one way or the other. I'm seeing a lot of cars here, so I'm thinking that's a good thing. It means people are out voting. So, it's now 9:24. I'll let you know what time it is when I get out. So, it's now 9:41. And that's right, I went in there and went through the line thingy. It really didn't take that long, and luckily this is a very small area, so the voting line wasn't as long as it could have been. They gave me my voter slip, and I went to the little table thing and grabbed the pen, voted for Bush. Right. No. I made absolutely positively certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I read that fucking thing 4 times to make sure every name was clear. There were several parties. The Freedom and Regurgitation Party? I don't know. There were several I've never heard of before. But, yeah. So, no. I voted for Kerry. So we're hoping that this shit pays off, right? I couldn't, in good conscience, vote for somebody else because it's a wasted vote. And that's the sad thing about the state of affairs, is that you can't vote third party because it's a wasted vote. It really is. Third party candidates don't win. They don't win. You got Democrat and Republican. Those are the only parties that ever get into the office. So, but like I said, I read that thing like 4 times, made sure I saw exactly where it was, and the way that these voting papers worked is you had to connect the arrow. You had to complete the arrow, so. Give me a sec. Driving. So there you go. The voting experience wasn't all that exciting. And I'll talk to y'all later. I'm gonna go home and edit this and post it. Alright.